Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids, and in today's video, we're going to go through faction by faction, and we're going to rate every single epic in Raid Shadow Legends as of the end of November 2025. It's actually not as many as the legendaries. It's going to be a little bit easier than that, but there's still a ton of champs to get through. And I'll be honest, I'm also probably going to find this harder because as an endgame player myself, you just simply outgrow the use of many epics. So it's actually going to be quite a bit trickier for me to grade this, I think, than legendaries. I think in 2025, if we look back to imagine back, like I started raid in what 20. When did I start raid? We can check. I've forgotten. I've got it on my portrait. 2020. I started in 2020. If I imagine back to 2020, the way the game has changed with like faction unities and mythicals and all the rest, it's like mythicals are and faction unity champs are sort of like the legendaries of 2020. Legendaries nowadays, like affinity legendaries, are sort of like the epics of 2020, and epics are like the rares of 2020. It's like, oh, you know, if you're far enough in the game, that's it. You're just getting more, better quality, higher rarity champions now than before. It's like we've taken it up a step. But anyway, we're going to be looking at the epics. I'm probably not going to do a full ranking of the rares. I think there's just not that much useful to say for rares. But I will probably pick out a few of the key ones that actually would get a good grade. If you want to check out the other lists, I've just posted them on my Discord channel. You can find that linked in the description down below, where you can see the mythical list and the legendary list. So the mythical list has been updated after feedback, and you can see the mythicals are all rated pretty darn highly. The legendaries, there's a lot of legendaries, like I said. Again, it's been updated after feedback, and this is how we are looking. So this is important to understand right at the start. I've been rating champions on an S to D. Now, all of the mythicals fell between S and A. The legendaries fell between S and C. With the epics, this is really important because I'm gonna get so many comments about this. We are rating them on the scale of like all the champions in the game. Okay, so I'm not rating them on epics alone. What this means is, if I give you some examples here, because this is absolutely tiny, but S tier champions, to give you some context, we're talking about champions like Sifi, champions like Leonardo, champions like Armans. That's S tier. They are the best of the best. A tier champions are extremely good as well. We're talking champions like Kaja, Varl, or Gurgo. They're not top tier, but they can have a huge impact and be incredibly strong. B tier, this was like average legendaries. They're just good, usable champions. Sylv the Drakes, Rule, April. And then C tier were disappointing legendaries, weaker niche legendaries like Drokgul, Razin, or Nari. What this means when we come to epics, this is how I'm seeing it. I think epics are going to cap out basically at A tier. Even, spoiler, I think the best epic in the game is Geomancer. I don't like, if you look at, again, I'm going to get so many comments. Oh, it hurts me bracing for it. Be like, why is Geomancer not S tier? It's because Geomancer is just not quite on this level. But I think he's probably going to be around A tier. I think the best epics are going to come in around A, and there's not going to be many. I think good epics are going to be around B, maybe B+. Average epics around C, and bad epics around D. You can see I've got basically... you can think about it, I suppose, like S+ or 10 out of 10s. S is 9.5 out of 10. A is 9 out of 10. Sorry, A+ is 9 out of 10. A is 8.5 out of 10. B+, 8 out of 10. B, 7.5 out of 10. You can think about it roughly like that in terms of like it's top heavy as well. Yeah, I think this is where the epics are going to fall. It is. If you want to imagine that this is going to be an epic... I'm sorry I'm spending so long on it, but I'm gonna get so many questions. Right, there's gonna be so many comments. Is there even a point in explaining it? We're gonna get the comments regardless. Does it even matter? People even gonna watch? They'll just read the title, if even, click to the last second of the video, and then go straight to the comments to tell me how much they hate me. Yeah, you can imagine if you want this to be an epic only list, you could just add a tier or whatever to all of them to give you the context of the epics. But again, we're rating them in the context of basically all the champions in the game. Let's dive in. What I'm going to do, keep it simple enough. We're going to go A, B, C, and D. And then we can add pluses or minuses to the ratings at the end. But yeah, we'll just give it like a first pass, a second pass, maybe a third pass. We'll see. Let's dive in. So the best epics in here, I'm definitely looking at Ursula the Mourner. Let's make this a little smaller. Ursula the Mourner comes in at A, and I'd say Stag Knight is looking really good as well. They're the two that stand out to me. Again, remember, we're looking for champions that are on a really high level. I think the D tier is going to be fairly easy as well. Champions I would just never build, ever, is pretty much D tier. And that's Fearmonger, I would never build. Let me see. I probably would never build Horden. I'd probably never build Lordly Legionary. Archmage is good. Gerhard's okay. Arndulf and Signy, they're so new. I struggle, I will say, with the newer epics that are kind of niche. I'm more comfortable with like the older epics that are niche, like Oathbound. I'll be honest, Yasmin, I probably would never bother building her. I think Knight Errant is a meme and there's better options. Seneschal's okay, actually. And these are okay. Off the top of my head, I'm actually not even sure what Azure does. He's not very good, but I don't remember exactly what he does. And that's going to happen sometimes. Actually, if he's stunned, steal some turn meter, eye protection. No, this guy's rubbish. I'd never build him. He's absolutely terrible. Okay, and there we go. All right, then we come into the bees. Okay, I definitely do like Archmage. Archmage is great. Good crowd control. Oathbound, I'd say as well, probably comes in with good crowd control. Artemage, good damage. Actually, very solid damage. Giscard, great buffs. He's really good. I do like Lady Quillen quite a bit. I definitely like Lady Annabelle. And then I think we start to get a bit more niche. I'd say Seneschal's pretty all right. Ulfric's definitely okay. I think Alaric probably gets a C. Gerhard, good damage, but I'd be going for Artemage, definitely for damage. Arndulf, Signy, I think they're probably C's as well. Rowan, okay, boss damage. Warcaster, he's got the block damage, but, you know, it's very niche. That, to me, probably feels about right. So we're looking, let me fill in these, and let's take a quick look over and think about pluses and minuses. All right, so here we go. This seems to me fine. Again, I'll be honest, we come back to our categorization here. Like, Stag Knight is amazing, but is he as good as like a Gurgo the Augur? Is he that level? I think Lady Kimmy might be up there. I think Michinaki is an A as well. Like, that's level. I think Stag Knight probably has to be an A-. I think Ursula is probably A- as well, to be honest. Like, I have to be kind of harsh here. That's the way it is. In terms of the Bs, I'm not as mad at Oathbound. He's definitely pretty niche. I like the other Bs more. They're fine. Maybe Quillen gets a B-. Artemage's pretty good damage. I do like Giscard, Archmage Helmet, Lady Annabelle quite a bit. In terms of the Cs, yeah, at this point, it gets it's a little bit fake. It gets really hard to rate bad champions, I'll be honest with you. And then the Ds, I mean, we could probably throw in some D pluses here, to be honest. Like, Knight Errant's not absolutely horrendous. Warden's not that bad. I definitely don't like these ones. Yasmin's okay, but I'd never build her, I don't think so. Maybe something like that. We'll come back. We'll come back to each of these factions as we go. That's Bannerlords. Let's jump into the High Elves. Like I said, I find this so much harder than the other ones. So we'll come in with the best ones. So Ethlin, definitely top tier epic. Skaramis, a great epic. Tyrell doesn't make it anymore. I'd say Royal Guard is top tier epic. Neldor is a top tier epic. After that, I'll go straight in with the Bs. I do think Tyrell is solid. I do think Andrissia is quite solid. Vergis is quite solid. Actually, I like those ones quite a bit. Lethlin might actually scrape into the Bs. He's kind of cool with his taunt. He's maybe a B- in advance here, but probably. I'm not sure about Siendra. Let me double check her. She's relatively new. So I'm not 100% sure what she does. So yeah, AoE attack, self buffs. Okay. Steals turn meter. She can critic. She can steal. Okay, she can steal a 60% turn meter. She's all right. I'll give her a B as well. Over here, are there any I definitely wouldn't build? Honestly, Thanasil's absolutely sucks these days. I think Luthia sucks. She's all right. Exemplar sucks. Battle Sage okay. I think Marksman's pretty bad. Might give him a D plus though. Jingle Hunter, I have a soft spot for Jingle Hunter. I kind of like him. And Dahlia's all right. Some crowd control. And Alyssa, yeah, she's not bad either. So yeah, right. Smaller faction. This one is easier. Bannerlords is getting into it with stuff. Let's go through it though. Let's make sure I'm happy with the ratings. I forgot to do Battle Sage. I'd give her a B. Honestly, looking at the Bs, like Tyrell, I think feels fine to me as a B. So does Lethlin and Drissia as well. Battle Sage maybe gets a B minus. Not as keen on her, to be honest. I think Vergis and Siendra are fine. By the way, one thing I'm doing with this rating as well is a B minus is effectively equal to a C plus. Like like a minus of a letter is equal to the plus of another letter is how I'm doing it. Just because otherwise, I mean, if we jump back to this, like it's already so many sections, and we're going to be filling out this D section. It's so much. You can't even fit more sections into tier list maker, right? So I could break it down even more. We could have 20 sections in the tier list, but we're keeping it simple. I actually find that when I do combine like a B minus with a C plus, it generally feels pretty okay. At least it did with the legendaries. I imagine there's going to be a decent bit of tweaking as well with this when we try to add this on to the legendaries. It just becomes a more complex sort of thing. Again, for the Royal Guard, I'm going to be honest, I think he gets a minus. I am leaning towards the A with these guys. Skaramis is actually a really reliable crowd control. I don't know. Is this too... Like, the A's are really good. Like, really good. They're probably all minuses. I think they probably all have to be minus, but they are good. Neld, Eflan is excellent. I think they are all A minus, like B plus, A minus, compared to the legendaries. Like the legendaries are just phenomenal. But these ones, these are the four that certainly stand out to me as being particularly good. The Bs, I think, are fine. With the Cs, I do like Elysnia a bit. Might give her a C plus. She's all right. She's okay. And Dahlia is okay as well. I'll give her a C plus maybe. It's fine. For the rest of them, don't like the Ds. Okay, no, that's okay. Right. Jumping into the Sacred Order. All right, so the best of the best. Deacon, definitely. Godseeker. I'm going to put Shemael in that conversation as well. Phoenix doesn't quite make it for me. I think Phoenix does incredibly well with some very niche endgame teams. I think you need like the crazy Teox style champions, you know, Mad Hatter style champions, people with the ally attacks that are giving huge bonus damage. He needs really strong ally attack champions to make him good, because it's all about his A1. His other skill is kind of bad. I think he deserves a B. I'll probably give Cardinal and Mordecai. They stand out as being good as well. There's a lot of junk in here, to be honest. Sanguinia is okay, but probably just like a C. It's probably C plus. Lodric, Anchorite are okay. In terms of D, like Canoness is terrible, Adriel's terrible. Honestly, I think Hope sucks as well. Frostbringer's okay, Talia's okay, Juliana's okay. These ones are okay. Relic Keeper sucks, Missionary sucks. Romero maybe a C minus. Lady Atessa, speaking of good ally attack, she is not. Bushi sucks. I don't like Carlinia. I'm gonna give her probably a D plus. I think Mistress sucks as well. So we come in with the C's. I think Romero probably does get a C. Anchorite, Lodric, I think they'll be C plus. I think Lightsworn's probably a C plus. Frostbringer, Talia, Juliana, Sanguinia, and Aethar. Yeah, I'll probably be dishing out quite a few C pluses here. Let's see what we can do. Now, you know what? I've thrown out a few. So for the A's, I'm actually thinking I probably will leave Deacon as an A. One of the very few epics that's going to get an A. I think he probably, off the top of my head, I'm thinking like Geomancer, Farrakhan. I'm probably forgetting some epics. Maybe Seer makes it as well into the A. That's probably about it. I think I'm going to do the A minus for Shemael and Godseeker. They are great. But again, in the context of the entire list and like looking at the other legends, like they're just not as good as the A-tier legendaries. They do need to be a step below. Like the A-tier, again, to reiterate, the A-tier legendaries are insane. They're really good champions. The D-tier, I gave like a D plus to Hope and to Carlinia. I don't want to build them. I don't like them, but at least they do something. The others, I think, are terrible. For C plus, I gave Frostbringer, Anchorite. C plus, I quite like them. Maybe Sanguinia. Maybe. Like, she's not horrendous. I might give her a C plus. Aethar's and Juliana. I think C is fine. Like, they're okay. They're not D tier champions. They're okay, but I'm not too mad on them. All right. So there we go. First pass on that done. Barbarians up next. Farrakhan definitely gets a nod from me. And I think that's it. There's definitely some Bs. Well, I don't think they make it into A, which is Alika and Hoskarul. They're great, but they're not that great. Maybe B minus for Haikatoon. Woad Painted is all right, and Sky Touched, and I don't like the others that much. I can even go straight into C. I think Jamarsa, because of the revive, is a C, but I don't love her. And Suai has some nice debuffs. And then I'm really not liking much else, I'll be honest. Like, Armina's probably a C. Got some good stuff. Tashada's actually not bad. Kalia probably gets a C. I'm not too keen on Vala. I don't think she's worth building. I definitely think he sucks. She sucks. This guy sucks. She might get a D+. I think Maeve sucks. Baroth probably D+. He's useful for some Cursed City stages as a HP damage dealer, but he's pretty awful. And I think Harkin kind of sucks as well, honestly. So let's have a look at this. Yeah, for now, I'm keeping the adjustments pretty minimal. I've given B- to Haikatoon Sky Touched. Maybe to Woad Painted as well, to be honest. I think so. I'm leaving Farrakhan at the A. I think Farrakhan holds up actually very well compared to legendaries. Like that full team ally attack. Like, for example, I think Lanathril, I've given an A. I think Farrakhan is as good as Lanathril. Possibly even slightly better. I think he's actually legit. I'm a huge fan of Farrakhan. Very good for Chimera as well. Yeah, I think the rest is fine. I think Alika and Hoskarul are like pretty average damage dealers just in general in the game. They do some cool stuff. Yeah, I've not done too many adjustments here. I've kind of left it, and we'll come back. I'm kind of figuring it's probably actually better to come back and adjust stuff more at the end. So it's a process, right? It's a process. Maneater, A for sure. Not a massive fan of Skull Crusher. Ugo, definitely big ranking. Skrank, big ranking. Uragrim, give him a good ranking, but I think he's going to be A- straight away. Skrank, I'll give an A-. I'm going to give Maneater maybe a straight up A, and I think I'll give Ugo be a straight up A as well, maybe A-. We'll see. I'll come back to that. For B, I quite like Claude a lot. Nice buffs. I really like Siege Hulk. He's great. Skull Crusher probably deserves a B. And Shatterbones and Grunch are okay. They might get B-. They're decent. Maybe B- for Grush. I need to remember Wuzgar. Gruckus is quite good. Yeah, I can definitely say Grimskin. He's terrible. Give him a D. Cagebreaker is rubbish. Towering Titan down here in the corner. He's rubbish. I'd be giving Galka a C. It's all right damage. Frundar, like bad crowd control. Occult Brawler, good single target poisons. Wuzgar might be like a B-. I think he's got some interesting stuff. And I'll be honest, I think C's and Lauren both get C's even has C in his name. I think they get C's. So yeah, let's knock this out and let's take a look. Okay, so some adjustment. I'm going to give Occult Brawler like a C+. I do like him for that single target poison. Is quite nice. I'll be honest, Grunch to me is probably B-. He's actually quite niche. He does have a couple of neat, like he's good for some Cursed City stages. He's good for some Faction War stages, but I don't think he's quite as generally useful. I'm going to give Shatterbones a B- as well. I think the team counterattack is unique enough. Gruckus actually quite solid. Wuzgar, not 100% sure. I think Siege Hulk and Claude definitely Bs for me. Rush maybe is a B-. Let me double check Wuzgar. Wuzgar, do you get a B or a B-? Reflect damage, shields, heal, counterattack. He's a B-. He's a B-. B-, C+, B-, same sort of thing anyway. Yeah, I think that feels okay. I'm thinking of leaving Maneater as an A. Like, I think that block debuff's unkillable. Maybe A-. It's unique. It's very unique. It's such a useful combo. Like for Ice Golem hard, useful in arena as well. Does he equal these other? He maybe does in terms of usefulness. Actually, he's pretty phenomenal. B+ are really strong champs as well. You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna be generous for now with Maneater. Let's be generous. Let's leave him at an A. I do think he's pretty crazy good. Oh, Lizard's very small faction. So the best Venom Age, Aox. She might get a straight up A. No, I think they're both A minus, to be honest. B's, I do like Jareg. The Laja's okay. Gathic's alright. So is Slixus. Might get a B minus, to be honest. Don't love the rest. Let's say C plus for Basilisk. B C for Broadmaw. He does have a revive. Broodlord, pretty poor. Oh, Quargan's actually pretty decent. Where he gets a B. Definitely a C for Jizzo. And I'll be honest, I don't like Jarang. I give him a D. I think Ichi sucks. I think Drake sucks. I'd never build them. So, yeah, Slixus, he's probably like a B average damage dealer. Scathix, average cleanser. A B minus for her. Quargan's probably a B, as is Jareg's. Probably fine. Broodlord, I think I'm fine with C, C, and C. I quite like Basilisk. I might give him a C plus. I like it's just well, I'll give him a C. He probably only deserves a C. I like him though, with a stun set and just pumping it out, but he probably doesn't deserve a good rating, to be honest. Yeah, and then these ones are just bad. A minuses, I think, is probably pretty fair. You know what? Again, B plus is basically the same as A minus, but maybe Aox should actually be like a for what it matters. He's probably like a B plus, like nicely above average, pretty cool. Yeah, again, they're effectively the same rating, but you know, they're slightly different. Slightly different. We've got the Skinwalkers up next. Oh, this faction. Basher is good, but he's probably just a B. Are there any A? Okay, I think a Kempton probably does get maybe A minus. Faction's a bit rough. There's a few Bs. I'm going to say Fane, for me, is a B. She's good. I think that Yuzan and Gom are probably both Bs as well. And I think Frenzy's probably a B. I don't really like Weregren. I think he's a C. I think the two Bears are definitely D. Offreys might be a B minus with the revive. B minus. Steel Skull's probably a B minus as well. I think Fane's just a straight up B. Not too mad on Bovo's, probably a C. I think Basher's probably a B minus. And both might be a B. I think Yaga, unfortunately, is terrible. I think he's terrible. I think he sucks. Narox is new. I might give a C plus to Scabrius. I prefer Fane. Scabrius is a little bit behind. Flesh Terror is probably a C. And Taurus is probably a C plus. He does some useful stuff. Poison explosion teams, but it's pretty darn niche. Double check Narox here. He's super new. I don't quite remember. I think he's provokes and stuff. Eye protection, counterattack on himself, 4 turn. AoE provoke on a 4 turn, decrease speed. I'm going to give him a C plus. C plus. And yeah, so I think the Bears are both bad. They get Ds, Rhyme Beast, Ripper. That guy, they're just bad. Frenzy B, Gom B, Yuzan B, seems fine. Yeah, and then I think a Kempton probably gets the A minus. Pretty niche stuff for him, and see that to me feels all right. Feels all right, broadly speaking. Okay, let's go. Next faction, we've got the Orcs. Ooh, Seer. Seer stands out, very solid. Who else in the Orcs? I do like Tagore a lot, and Jorg a lot. Definitely value revives pretty highly. Again, they're probably going to be minuses, of course. Sargala comes in for a B. For me, I'd probably give a B minus to Sandlash Survivor. That might be it. Oh, Duck. Be a B as well. A B plus. He's pretty decent. I don't know. I gave Stag Knight, I think, an A minus, so Duck probably deserves around the same rating. A B minus for her, just a straight up B for Zargala. I think Seer probably just gets a straight up A. I think she gets a straight up A, and I think these guys, right, A minus. I think that makes sense. Anyone I definitely wouldn't build. Would not bother with Bonekeeper. Wouldn't bother with Tolf, Terror Beast, Shaman, Ultimate Galek. It's pretty rubbish. Torture Hound. I wouldn't bother with Blood Feather. Honestly, I wouldn't bother with Trumbor. Give him a C. He's not totally useless. C minus. Maybe C minus. Yeah, Lagurnas are you C. Torture Helm. C minus. Maruka is probably a C minus. Brask is okay. Give him a B minus. Decent amount of healing. D for them. D. D. Yeah, we're hurting everyone's feelings today. I think Laberga is like a C plus. Actually, she's okay. I think Tuhak's probably just a straight up C. Ultimate Galek, is he a C or is he a D? He's pretty bad. C minus. He's pretty freaking rubbish. To be honest, he's pretty bad. Yeah, Bloodfeather was a D. So yeah, definitely Seer stands out as the best. York and Tagore extremely good. Zargala is great. Vrask and Survivor not bad. You got a few C tier sort of champs like Laberga is all right, not great. Yeah, Lagurna, Maruka. I always mix them up, to be honest. Yeah, it's a bad faction. It was a bad faction for legendaries. It's a bad faction for epics generally. They've got a couple of winners and a lot of bad ones. Over here, so the best would be Allure, Magnar. Don't think Orlos even gets it. Umbral, maybe. I really like Skimfos, but I'll be honest. I think Skimfos gets a B, and so does Gorlos. So does Dur with the revive. Anyone else even get anything? Oh, Akoth's actually solid enough. He gets a good solid B. Atchak as well. Good. Urtakata probably a B minus. That might be it. Again, we're being pretty ruthless here. Nazana maybe a B minus. B minus for her. He gets a B. He gets a B. He gets a B. I do like Skimfos. Atchak is a B. Akoth AoE Burns is a B. Urtakata, the poisons, bit more niche. B minus for her. Allure is like A minus. And so is Magnar. In fact, you know what? Magnar, I'll be honest, Magnar's a B plus. I know people really like Magnar, but I think he's a B plus. A minus, a B plus. Again, how it will translate to my tier list is effectively the same. But sorry, he should be B plus. Yeah, I don't think he quite deserves all that credit. I'm giving Umbral more credit because he has a 2-turn provoke, and that's actually quite unique. And 100% AoE block buffs, which is decent, not crazy, but it's that 2-turn provoke. It's very rare, so I'm valuing that pretty highly for wave content. It's still like B plus, A minus though. Allure, ridiculous crowd turn meter depletion on her A1, but it's quite niche. Again, it's sort of really fallen off. For D's, champions that never build, Baroness. I would never ever build her or her. Maybe him. I never build him or Excruciator. She might hit hard. I don't know. I give like a C minus for Tanex, kind of rubbish. Paidma, I'll give a C. She's got a cool A1. Tarshan, actually, maybe a C+. He's pretty all right. Soul Drinker with the bombs, C. Very niche. And Vildrax, it'd be a C as well. But yeah, Excruciator might hit hard, but, you know, you're never going to use her. And these would be Ds. Yeah, okay. I think that seems all right for the... And we'll come back and we'll compare at the end. How do they slot in all against each other? Seems okay for now. The Undead... Right, I would say ones that stand out. Seeker, quite solid. So is Gorgrab. So is Dark Elhain. So is Husk. Ostrox isn't terrible. Vogoth, actually. Probably the best. Mausoleum Mage. No, I don't think he gets... And to be honest, gets a B. Being maybe too generous with some of these. A minus for Seeker. A minus for her. A minus for him. Might give Vogoth a straight up A. He's pretty darn unique, which is quite useful. Anyone I definitely wouldn't build. I'd never build a Hexia. Catacomb Counselor. He gets a D plus because you need him for one of the Faction Wars hard rooms. She's terrible. Haram sucks. Lich sucks. Oh, Anax is good. Give him a good B. B. I might have to mark down some of these epics, honestly. You know, I feel like people watching are probably saying, "Nub, you're being too harsh." And I'm kind of thinking maybe I'm being too generous, to be honest. Zelata. Mausoleum Mage is probably a good B champ. Corpse Collector. The this guy is terrible. And then I'd probably give B minuses to these two. They're okay. B minus, B minus. I'll give Kafru a B. He's okay. He can hit pretty hard, I think. Give him a... No, I'll give him a B minus. He's a C. Yeah, D, D. Never would really use them. Why if I give him Balthus, he'd give him a D plus or something? I give him a C minus, the same thing, and I don't have to repaint the whole thing. Yeah, okay, so like I do like these. The Bs are okay. Goregrab, Mausoleum Mage, and Anax are solid enough, and Ostrox and Caffrey solid-ish as well. Might be too generous, honestly, on these two, perhaps. I think we gave Royal Garden A minus, so probably makes sense. Dark Elhain might be just a B. In fact, I think she probably is. Vogoth definitely stands out as the best. Yeah, we'll come back. We'll come back. Here we go. Dark Elves. Let's get through. Madame Ceres is probably the best. Dark Kale's pretty unique. Minus. I think she's probably a minus as well. Okay. It's not a great faction. Sylar probably gets a B. A B minus here. I think Rian gets a B, I'd say. I give him a B minus. Sylar, I'm going to give Sylar a B. B minus. Lua, not terrible damage. A B minus. Luria, probably B minus as well. It's rough out there, folks. It's rough. I say Gwyneth, maybe a B minus. I'd give Durandil straight up B, though. He's actually quite good. Then for... let's look at champs I'd never build a Tamila. I'd never build the Crimson... Warden is definitely the worst. Fan Cleric can get a D+. Visionary, D. I think people like Fan Cleric reasonably well. I'm just not a fan. Give Spider a C. He's okay. The Resk, C minus. Don't like her. Delver. Maybe a C+. I think she's okay. Give her a C. Give her a C. Crackhearth, D+. D+. And yeah, Crimson Helm can like solo Bommel, but I mean, is that even relevant in 2025? It's very difficult to do, and I don't think it's that relevant anymore. There's probably so much easier ways to do it now. Yeah, okay, so, yeah, it's a rough faction, folks. It's a rough faction. Part why Dark Elves is hard. Their epics are not great. Not great at all. We've got Nice Revenant up next. Here we go. Oh, so I've got the background overlapping a bit. Lots of legendaries there. For Nice Revenant, now I do like Rector a lot. Again, in the context, we definitely have some that are... I think they're probably more B plus territory. Like Miscreated Monster, probably a solid B. Whisper, I think it's probably B plus. A minus B plus territory. Sabatha, probably B territory. Doom Priest, probably a solid B as well. I do like Sinesha. I do like Skullcrown a good bit. Let's look at some champs I would definitely never build. Crypt Witch, she does some, yeah, maybe she's a C. Pitiless One, I think he sucks. Aishma's alright. Okay, let's just, the definite terribles. Deathless, yeah. Brannock's okay, Malkit's okay. Faceless is absolutely rubbish. Okay, not so bad. You know, I think I'll probably give a, what did I do for Haikatoon? B minus? Okay, I think Golden Reaper gets a B minus as well. Skullcrown for me gets a B. Sinesha gets a B minus. Yeah, okay, that's fine. I'm gonna give like a C plus to Sepulcher. Harsh. She used to be great. She's alright. Thylesia, I'll give a B plus. A B minus, excuse me. B minus. Lady Eresh, she's an okay generic damage dealer. C plus. Necro Hunter, I think Crypt Witch, they're all alright for damage. For Salis. Aishma maybe is a C plus, but I'll leave her C for now. Franox, big single target damage, but not very useful. Malkit gets a plus, C plus, because he does revive. And yeah, I think Burgoth is a straight up C, pretty rubbish. Pestilus is probably freaking... Pestilus is pretty garbage. Yeah, Deathless you'd never build, or Chitus. Don't think you'd ever build him. Rector Drath, that's probably A minus, maybe A. She's my favorite epic reviver. What other revivers do we have in A? Taja. I mean, we've got like Syl. Syl is down in B. And yeah, like B is pretty good. Even B's are pretty good. I think we got Syl. I think we've got the dwarf Molly. Yeah, I think A minus. I like her more. I do like Rector Drath genuinely more than I think Molly or that, like, ever so slightly. Yeah, I mean, it's just there's high competition here. Very high competition. I do like Doom Priest. I do like Tonight. Yeah, okay. Sabbatha, B. Yeah, all right. Okay. Whew. This is a challenge. It is challenging. Dwarves is up next. Melga, I think, is like a B. B Reviver. Morag's quite good. Demitha. I think Demitha maybe gets an A minus. I like Morag and Gala quite a bit. I think though they're B plus, I think, for Morag. Now probably just a B, just like an average damage dealer in the game overall. Now here we definitely have our first A for sure in the dwarves. Geomancer, proper A. Definitely an A for him. He's very, very good. After that, like Fodbor is just bad. He's not great. Dazdirk, I think, gets a B minus. He's okay. I would say I would never build a Beardil. He gets a D. Actually, there's not too many never builds here. I would say Grizzle Jarl, much like Fodbor, is a C. Cornelia, let's be honest, is a C, maybe a C plus. Bilja is probably like C plus. Good damage, not quite as good. Rearguard, I think, is a C. Isbel's probably a C plus. Hilda might get a B. She's solid enough. She might get a B. Really good passive on her. And I give probably a B minus to Rockbreaker. He's actually quite good. He's quite good crowd control, but probably just a B minus, to be fair. And Rugnor, I give him a C. I've tested him. He's actually quite disappointing. Single target damage, decreased defense, weakened single target. He's actually not that good though. Weirdly, he's not great. Yeah, I definitely think Geomancer and Demitha are the best, and Geomancer gets the pure A, which is a very high rating. She's definitely lower, but she is still very good. And yeah, like Melga and Morag are solid. I think Hilda's quite solid. I do like Gala quite a lot as well. I think she stacks up pretty well with the ignore defense these days to other damage dealers too, so I think she's good. Dazdirk and Rockbreaker, nice little supports, and then the C's are fine. Funny enough, it's actually one of the best factions for epics. I know that you might be thinking, God, it's a lot of C's, that's rough, but you have to bear in mind that, again, this is how, on the scale of all the champions in the game, it matches up well. And compared to other factions, like we compare them to the Dark Elves are rough. Like, look at all the Ds. Look at all the Ds for the Dark Elves. We only have one D. One just never build champion. And yeah, one never build, which is kind of crazy. The Dwarves have really good epics, actually. Very few bad epics. Right. In here, I'm going to be honest. I don't think anyone here is going to be an A. I think we get a B plus for Taragi. I think he's solid. I think Hatatsu is a B. I think Aboro probably gets a B. Maybe B minus, to be honest. I like her as a mischief tank for Hydra. That's about it. Hinagashi is probably like a C plus. She's not great. I do quite like Sachi. I think she's okay, actually. I think she's pretty underrated. It's actually not a great faction. I think Genbo probably gets a B. Just solid damage. Solid. And Fenchi, I do like. I think he gets a B minus. After that, they're not great. Any do not builds. Not too many. Probably Chinoru, unfortunately. Jurajin is not great. I don't like Umatogi. And I don't like Chani. I'll give her a D plus though. She gets a D. She gets a D. He gets a D. And yeah, I think Taya is a C. Not great. Kunoichi's only alright. Wuji, C minus. Not great. Brankiri, maybe a C minus. Duran's probably a C plus, actually. She's decent. A, we decrease defense. Tomoe, I think it's a C. I think Nagorio is probably like a C plus. He's all right damage dealer. Gori, I'd say, is a C. I think Kinagashi is a C plus. I'll give her a B minus. She is the reviver for the faction. So I think she's actually B minus for Kinagashi. Yeah, I think that fits. And Masamoto, he's probably like a C plus. Just give him a C. Give him a C. That's fine. So yeah, okay, quick look here. I don't think anyone gets the A. Again, like B plus, A minus is pretty similar. But I think Taragi's probably the best. I do like Hitatsu and Sachi a decent amount as well. With Genbo, they're pretty good. And then Fenshi's got some nifty multi-hits and damage. We got a revive in Kinagashi, which is useful for the faction, but not much else. Oboro, good for Hydra, not too much else. Then lots of C's, like they're fine, but nothing special, and a few D's. All right, Shadowkin. And then the final faction, I opened Dark Elves again by accident, is the Sylvan Watchers. I'm expecting these to be pretty good, actually. So for A, I do think Creodan's going to get an A. He is actually legit better than many legendaries. Nia, maybe an A minus. Has anyone else? Dahi, probably just a B plus. I do like Dahi. But again, there's so much competition from damage dealers. I do like Diana a lot. She's really good. Anne is solid, actually. I say Nia is solid. He's solid. She's solid for the revive. Ruella's pretty good. Orn is pretty good. Thorn Golem. How do I rate a Thorn Golem? He's very new. I need to refresh on his kit. Don't even have him on my account. Increase defense, counterattack, resist. Fear, decrease accuracy, some leeches. I think he's like a C. I think he's a C. C for him. And I love Enda, but I'll be honest, you should never build Enda. Yeah, Cormac could be a D as well. I need to double check with Steri. I'm going to say Helen is a C and Ayla is a C. Arwood, I think, is probably a C as well. Wistari, I think, is pretty good. Oh no, she's the single target self buff. I think she's like a C. Arwood. Okay, cool. Helen, yeah. Cormac, terrible. Lochwain is terrible. Enda, sadly, is terrible, which hurts me. He's one of my favorite champs, visually and whatnot, but he is just real bad. Okay, so Duodan, Pan, Diana, Nia, Wiranon, Ruella, and Orn. I like Ruella quite a bit. She's got a lot of good debuffs. She's quite good. I think she probably just gets a B overall. Dahi, I think, squeezes into B plus territory. He pumps out some crazy damage. I think Duodan is probably B minus. I think Wiranon probably gets a B. Maybe B minus as well. I do like Orn's solo potential. He's pretty good. I think Pan is a B minus damage dealer. Diana probably just gets a B. She's quite strong. Ally attack, AoE attack, little mini ally attack. She does decent damage. Might be B, maybe B minus. Okay. Let's review. So, how are we feeling about it overall? I find that this one for me, as I said, guys, this one for me has been far more difficult to do. Far more difficult than... Yeah, like, to be honest, oh man, Stag... Yeah, okay, so like... Yeah, it's tough. This is really tough. It might have been easier to just rank them as epics and be like S, A, B, and C. That might have been easier. And then to adjust it for the overall list. But yeah, it's a challenge either way. But yeah, okay. So over in the Bannerlords. Yeah, all right. Seems fine. High Elves as well. Okay. Are some of these two general, like again, B minus, B plus and A minus are the same sort of thing. Yeah, it's probably fine, honestly. Okay. I mean, this certainly a decent place to start for sure. God, it's a rough faction. I'm kind of expecting that actually with these, like Sacred Order. They've got so many epics and so many are just awful, really weird. Why are there these weird like samurai guys in this faction? It just doesn't fit. It's so bizarre. The pre-Shadowkin champions that should have been in. Same with Saito, probably. I mean, he's dead, but yeah, still, you get. Anyway, Barbarians, yeah, pretty rubbish faction as well on the whole. Ogryn. Yeah, I like the bees. Do Ugo and Maneater deserve A's? Maybe. Maybe they deserve a bit lower. Are they B plus or are they A? Ooh, I don't know. Tricky. Lizards. Yeah, I think they're probably just the B pluses, to be fair. Skinwalkers. Again, he's probably just a B plus champ. Orcs. Yeah, I think Seer probably should still get the A. He's pretty unique for speed farm stuff. One-shotting things. Pretty darn useful for event dungeons. He deserves it. Yeah, lots of B pluses here. Good faction though, on the whole. Like you've got a lot of good B plus champs that are quite usable. Undead, bit rough. It's a bit rough. Yeah, a little rough on that faction. And yeah, I think they're B plus really. For the Dark Elves, yep, again, pretty rough faction for epics. Knights Revenant, surprisingly rough for epics. I think Rector probably B plus does fit, to be honest. Like you got to do a lot as a reviver to make it into A. Again, he makes it into A. Demitha might only be a B. I don't know. We'll give her a B plus and we'll see how it goes. Shadowkin, yeah, again, no one super stands out, but lots of good champs. Oh, I forgot to give Priadan a rating. The A or A minus. So, I mean, B plus is pretty good. Like Tormund's in there, probably just an A minus. The A's are phenomenal. I think he's an A minus, but still phenomenal. So yeah, we had the only A's we've got, like proper straight up A's. Geomancer, fair. Nobody there. No one there. Wait, no, I've given a straight up A to Vogoth. That's generous, but he is very unique. I think he opens up unique strategies. I think I'm fine with that. Generous, but he is so unique. I know that what's his name? The Ogre legendary. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. You guys know who I mean though. The guy with the bombardment attack as well. He's got a similar thing, but the way you build Vogoth is just a massive HP sponge. It just works a bit better. I don't know. Yeah, I think he's kind of deserves kind of a shout out. Maybe you can move him down a bit. Seer makes an A. I think it's fine. Yeah, no one there makes a pure A. Maneater and Ugo maybe a little generous, to be honest. Ugo's great, but is she as good as these? Probably not. I think she's as good as a B plus, to be fair. I love Ugo, but again, I think A minus, to be fair, in the context of everything. Maneater is a very unique set of debuffs. I actually do find Maneater to be quite uniquely interesting for arena teams and like for Siege mostly and Demon Lord. You know what? Let's give him an A minus. And you know what? Let's do the same for Vogoth. Up. So I do think I've put Grisor. Grisor is his name. I put Grisor in A. I think Vogoth, he can't be in the same rating. I think he has to be A minus. Yeah, I think we just have to demote them compared to the legendaries. Barbarians, Farrakhan does hold up for me. He does. Like if we look at the other A tier. Well, I only put Lanathril B plus. I do think Farrakhan's better. I think Kreela might be here as well. Again, I think Farrakhan's better than Kreela. And let me see the Orc section. Kreela's there in the Orcs. I actually think he probably deserves to be an A. I think he scrapes it. I think he does. Probably not quite as good, to be fair, as Black Tusk, honestly. But any other ally attacks in the A? Just a normal A? Like full team? Which he basically... No, not really. I think he makes it in. I do. I actually think he makes it in. And yeah, he's not as good as Cardiol. Not as good as Mikage. Yeah, I mean, he's quite unique. I think probably, yeah. Deacon. Does Deacon deserve the A? In the A tier with like Tremeria. Maybe. He might scrape it in. Aestrid is better though. He might be B plus, honestly. Esme. I'd say Deacon is more like Zaharis, Esme. It does feel more like that to me. Yeah, he's probably like B plus. I reckon. Like Carol on the Ringer. Yeah, actually, her there as well. He's probably Probably B plus. Yeah, probably B plus or A minus. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Yeah. I like these. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And yeah, Stag Knight again compared to the and Ursula. Yeah. Okay. Wow. I mean, it's really interesting doing this, trying to grade everything against in the context of all the champions in the game. Like I said, let me know your thoughts down below. I will be reading the comments. I will be adjusting. Again, just please try to bear in mind the other like where the legendaries are going and stuff like that. Like try to keep it in context. Like, yeah, I get it. You know, Deacon's freaking insane epic. But an insane epic in 2025, you know, like it's just not very helpful if you're like Deacon's an S plus tier champion and it's like I mean Deacon versus a Marishka, like come on bro. Like Deacon as good as Marius? No. Like yeah, he's like an S tier epic, but S tier for epic doesn't equal S tier overall. So all right guys, well whew, it's been a wild ride. Oh my god, that was very very difficult. What I've done is I've imported nearly all the champs into tier list maker. I've got my epic champion tier list, and we can have a quick look. There are definitely some champions missing. Like I noticed Ethlan wasn't there. Basically, I've got Plarium has shared with the content creators folders with all the images of the champions. I noticed with the legendaries, there were about 10 legendaries that are just missing from their files, which is hilarious. Probably somewhat similar with the epics. There's definitely some missing, but nonetheless, we've arranged them. I have tweaked them a little bit, even from because it's quite interesting when you're dragging and dropping champions in. You go, oh, that doesn't look quite right where it is, but yeah, we've got a relatively even distribution. I would say like the D plus category maybe looks a little sparse, but that's okay. It's fine. We've got a good few Ds and whatnot. I'd say like C plus is where you start hitting the. I think even some of the C tier champions you're probably using a little bit. You might be using them a little. Even the D plus you might use very rarely. The C's you might use a few of them a little bit. One fun thing, by the way, I don't know why, but they've a really weird image for Tomoe. Don't know why. C plus you definitely use a bit. And yeah, like there's some actually really solid champions in here. But again, I think just in the context of mythicals, void legendaries, etc. It sounds really bad to call them C plus, but I think it is just where they are. Then B, these are some of the better epics that are going to have a pretty high impact, a little bit better than the C plus. The B plus then very high, very, very high impact epics that are like, oh shit, I've pulled them. That's a bit of a game changer for epics. Then the A tier, only 3 of them made it in. The best of the best epics, only 3 for me made it, which is Farrakhan, Geomancer, and Seer. I think they stand above the others. That's basically what it is. Again, if you want to take this as an epic only list, you can feel free to consider these S plus. I mean, just increase all their ranks by 3. So these would be like S plus, these would be S. These are A plus and these are A, right? If you're looking at it from an epic only perspective, that'd be sort of the translation. But in a world where you've got mythicals like Star Sage Galathir in the game, I think there's quite a gulf between that and where the epics, even the best epics, end up. But yeah, like how do I like that? They're really good over here. Any outliers? Like perhaps Allure and Demitha are a little bit high for the modern game. The others to me are feeling pretty fair. Like they're really good. Yeah, like really, really good epics. Maybe these two are a little generous, but then again, I mean they're pretty. Like Demitha opens up a bunch of unkillable clan boss, and she's just a great healer. Allure for those early dungeons and some Dark Fae bosses, pretty game changing. Yeah, no, okay, cool. No, it's probably fine on the whole. But yeah, guys, let me know your feedback down below. As you can probably see from some of the things here, I've already tweaked stuff a little bit, but give me your feedback. Any that are miles off that should be a little bit up, a little bit down, and whatnot. Let me know. But that's where we are at with the epic champions. And yeah, with the rares, I don't know. I'm figuring the rares, honestly, we probably just default all of the rares into D tier. Just assume they're D tier, and then we move the really good rares up, and probably same thing with uncommons as well. It's just like, you're never going to build them. Basically D tier, never build. Yeah, Yeah, but like there's definitely some rares that are really good. Like, like Apothecary might make it into B. Yeah, Apothecary's probably B. I'd say the starter champions are they're probably like C plus the starters. Like they're pretty decent in there in C plus. Like you got like Gwyneth in there, Isbale. That's probably similar sort of territory to the starters. I don't know. Maybe they're only C, but yeah, it's hard to say. It's difficult. I think that's the challenge. There's the double layer of challenge with this. So again, please give me your feedback. Challenge layer number 1 is that I'm just simply not crazy familiar with all of these epics, particularly the worst ones. I like it's a struggle to rank them accurately. I've got a better idea for obviously the best ones, and then yeah, for I think the extra challenge has been if we were just doing this as its own tier list, maybe that would have been easier to be like just do the epics from like S to D or whatever, and then integrate it in with the legendaries after. It's definitely an extra layer of difficulty to be like, okay, I need to rank all the epics, but we're also ranking them based off of what we did with the mythical and the legendary versions of this list as well. Makes it more challenge. It's definitely more challenging. And yeah, I mean, I do wonder when I sit down and compare these across, I might be like, oh shit, there's some B tier legendaries that are better than these B plus epics, and some of these epics might need to come down. Yeah, we'll see. But I feel like for an epic list, it's reasonably okay. We'll see. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully it's interesting, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.